Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of Tristram Shandy by Laurence Sterne. The full title of the novel is The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy, Gentleman, and it is a 9-volume novel published between 1959 to 1967. And the theme of the story is the chaotic subjectivity of human time and memory, the limits of language in achieving true communication, and how idiosyncratic obsessions, that is called as hobby horses, isolate us while simultaneously connecting us through shared eccentricities. And the characters are, we have a narrator who is Tristram Shandy, his father Walter Shandy, who is overbearing and preoccupied with philosophical and pseudo-scientific hypotheses, most notably with the importance of names and gnosis. His mother Elizabeth Shandy, the exact opposite of Walter in temperament. Tristram's uncle Toby, who is a war veteran and who has suffered a grievous wound to his groin area. Though non-violent by nature, Uncle Toby obsesses over military history and tactics. And the other characters are Dr. Slope, the local physician, an unnamed female midwife who delivers Tristram at Elizabeth's insistence, Yorick, a witty local parson and family friend, and Toby's friend and subordinate Trim. The Shandy family also has servants named Susanna and Obadiah. Tristram says about Uncle Toby in the beginning, where he describes his war record and the wound to his groin. He says about the day of Tristram's birth. Despite his wife's complaints, Walter insists that Dr. Slop serve as a backup to the female midwife. Dr. Slop fancies himself a forward-thinking doctor, and he says that he has invented a pair of forceps designed to grasp the newborn baby by his head. Dr. Slop displays the forceps by using them on Uncle Toby's hand. And much to everyone's distress, the forceps rips Toby's skin off. However, before Walter and Toby can protest, the midwife calls Dr. Slop for assistance. With the situation seemingly out of their control, Walter and Toby take naps. They are awakened, however, by mechanical sounds emanating from the kitchen. They learn from Trim that Dr. Slope's dreaded forceps have caused significant damage to the newborn Tristram's nose, and that Dr. Slope is now making a synthetic nose bridge for young Tristram in the kitchen. Walter, instead of helping, starts a detailed academic lecture on the significance of noses. Walter learns from Susanna that the boy may not survive, and Walter calls the parson Yorick so that the baby can be baptized. Walter chooses the name Trismegistus, which means thrice great, but unfortunately, since they are finding it difficult to pronounce the name, the baby is baptized as Tristram, the name he hates. Walter asks Yorick about changing a baby's name after baptism. Tristram, Walter argues, is the weakest of all possible names, unlike Trismegistus, which is the name of a mystic Walter adores. Walter receives the news that his eldest son Bobby has died in London while away at school. Walter now plans a superior education plan for young Tristram, who is now 5 years old. Walter spends all his time devising his plan instead of giving Tristram any kind of education. Tristram's poor fortune continues when the young boy is accidentally circumcised by a falling window. Tristram has been urinating out of the window because Susanna could not find an empty chamber pot. She and Dr. Slop scramble to access Tristram's injuries and bandage his wound as Walter debates his son's education with Toby. When Dr. Slop finally tells Walter what has happened, he exaggerates the extent of Tristram's injuries. To compensate for the damage to his son's body and reputation, Walter insists that Tristram start wearing trousers earlier than most children do. The narrator now shifts to the present day, where Tristram explains that he is on a ship leading to Europe in search of a climate that will improve his declining health. He plans to write 2 volumes of his autobiography per year, but he feels death catching up with him and fears that he will not be able to finish before he dies. He describes his travels through France, detailing his impressions of each city he passes through. Again, Tristram returns to the past to focus on the affair between Toby and his neighbor, widow Madvan. Walter, Elizabeth, and Tristram are all spies on Toby and the widow as they flirt. The widow has fallen for Toby, but she is anxious that his war wound has rendered him unable to perform sexually. She tries to get Toby to tell her the exact location of his wound, but he keeps mistaking her index for questions about the full-scale model battlefield Toby has built in the garden of the Shandy estate. Toby and Trim launch a military-style operation to win widow Woodman's heart as the family watches on. The novel ends where it began. that is before Tristram's birth, with Parson Yorick declaring that it is a story of a cock and a bull and one of the best of its kind I ever heard. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box, like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.